The band. All right. Well, good morning. Thanks for joining us and getting up early to get in some yoga and stretching and things. So the way that this yoga series is going, I've been kind of creating the yoga practice to help us recover from these big Sunday hero workouts that we have. Now, definitely usable for any workout, but the particular workout that we have for our Sunday hero workout is Galwin, which has got pistol squats, burpees, muscle ups, and box jumps. High reps, 20 minutes. And so with a workout like that, high reps, and something especially like a pistol squat, you're going to be pretty sore. And so a practice like this, I want you to ease into, if you are sore, you're going to ease into these positions and go slower. And you're not necessarily looking for the deepest position, because if you're sore and like really sore, your body's not going to want to stretch too much. And so it's good general movement, and just kind of flow through this in a way that feels good. And if you don't feel sore today, well then, we're going to go kind of deep into some of these positions. Okay. We're going to start with some breathing to get us focused and centered. So let's have you find a comfortable seat. So that can be on the shins, that can be cross-legged, whatever we want today. And hands anywhere that's comfortable. We're going to sit up tall, and we'll just close the eyes so that we can bring our focus to what's happening with the breathing. And you're not necessarily at this moment trying to make the breath longer. You're just directing it through the nose, both on the inhale and on the exhale. So closing the mouth and just a normal breathing pattern through the nose for a couple cycles. And on your next inhale, feel as though that inhale starts at the tailbone. And on the inhale, go all the way up through the mid-spine to the top of the head. Long inhale. And then that exhale is going to start at the top of the head and go all the way down to the tailbone. So we're going to elongate this breath on both sides of it. Okay, so now we're going to go through just a little pattern where we're going to hold the breath, and I'm going to count you through this. We're going to go 3 counts on the inhale, a 3-count hold, and then 3 counts on the exhale. Okay, so all together, inhale for 3, 2, 1, hold, 3, 2, 1, exhale, 3, 2, 1. Starting again, inhale, 3, 2, 1, hold. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Just a couple more rounds like that on your own. Feel the inhale, the pause, and then the exhale. Wherever you are in the cycle, finish the cycle of breath and then give me one more. Good. And then just letting the breath naturally flow through the nose without any pause, just a normal breathing pattern, just gently opening the eyes. And so today, when we stretch, if you feel really tense, the exhale can help the body release. And so use that to your advantage today. So staying in this cross-legged position, looks like we're all there. We're going to start with a little bit of a twist. So right hand to the left knee, the left hand goes behind. Inhale to sit up really tall, and then on your exhale, we're going to twist. You can look gently over that back shoulder. And exhale to reset. And then left hand to the right knee. Inhale, sits up tall, and then exhale, we're going to twist. All right, next exhale, go ahead and release. Okay, side bend. You're going to go left hand to the left side, right arm up. Inhale, lift, and then we're going to lean to the left. You're going to try to anchor your right hip down at the same time you're extending through those fingertips at the top. So you feel a little bit more length through that right side. Good. Inhale, brings you up. And then other side, left arm up, lift, and exhale to lean. Anchoring that left hip down as the left fingertips reach. Good. Inhale, brings you up. And then we're going to go into a cross leg fold. But first thing I want you to do is just open up this position a little bit. So shimmy those feet away from you. And then shimmy those feet so that they're a little bit more in line with the knees. Yeah, so we've just opened this position a little bit. Okay. Inhale, sits up tall. And then exhale, let's fold forward. And when you get to that fold, you feel maybe some tension in the outer hips. You can just relax the neck, drop the chin down. You'll feel a little bit more stretch through the spine. And on every exhale, try to relax. Just soften places that feel tense. Inhale, let's walk the hands back, sit up. And then we're going to cross the other way. Okay, and again, we want this position to be kind of pushed out in front, feet in front, and then feet and more in line with the knees. This way might feel weird. It doesn't look weird, but I don't know about you. This feels really weird. So let's sit up tall, inhale, and exhale, fold. And every exhale, we soften places that feel like they're grabbing and they're holding on too tight. And inhale, we'll walk the hands back to sit up. Okay. And then we're going to plant the feet. You guys stay facing me. I'm just turning so you can see. So feet flat on the floor, about hips distance. We're going to come into reverse tabletop, but we're going to do two versions. So first one, hands are going to go behind you, fingers facing forward. We're just going to squeeze the shoulder blades together so you feel that chest puff up a little bit. And then we're going to straighten the arms. This might be enough. You might feel the biceps. You might feel the front of the shoulders. Cool. If not, just scoot your hips forward just a little bit, but keep the chest open and the elbows straight. Good. And just go ahead and sit those hips back, release the hands. And we're going to do one more. This time we're going to lift the hips up, so same position with the hands. Okay. And we squeeze the shoulder blades together. We puff up the chest, straighten the arms. And then on your next inhale, we're just going to lift the hips. If you need a little bit more, we can go shift forward towards the heels. So you shift more weight. Holding here for 3, 2, 1, and release. Good. And then we're going to cross the shins and flip over to our hands and knees. Do a couple cat-cow. Okay, so hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And just classic cat-cow to start. So we're going to arch the chest, arch the back, tailbone reaches to the ceiling. And then as you press through the palms, tuck the chin, feel the tailbone draw towards the backs of the knees. And then again, inhale, we'll drop the belly. We lift the chest. And round. And then a couple more where you're just any kind of movement that you want here. You can make hip circles, you can wiggle them side to side, or you can go body rolls. Cool. All right. Go ahead and find a neutral position with the spine. We're going to come into cactus. And when we do cactus, we're going to set our arm kind of in this angle, and then we can move around however you need to get the stretch we're looking for. So let's come all the way to the belly. We're going to place the right forearm on the floor. And before we do anything, just allow that right shoulder to soften and kind of start dropping towards the ground. Now we're going to roll towards the outer right hip. Your head comes to the floor, that right shoulder is dropping towards the ground, and then you're moving your hand and the elbow in a different position if you're not feeling the stretch that you want. So angle your arm in a place that gives you that extra stretch through the front of the shoulder and chest. Good. On your next exhale, let's go ahead and release. And then we'll switch sides. So set up first your arm in that angle, and then allow that left shoulder to relax to the floor. Bring your top leg up and over, and then adjust that left arm to get to that front of the shoulder stretch. Good. On your exhale, let's go ahead and gently release. Okay. And now we're going to do scorpion. Okay. Now scorpion is we're going to go straight arm out, and we're looking for that top leg to really reach up and over towards the fingertips. So same rotation, you're going to draw your right shoulder down, top foot comes up and over, but now we're reaching our left toes as far back as we can so we get a little bit more stretch and opening through the spine and the hips. Good. Exhale, we'll release and bring you back through center. And let's go to the other side. So left arm out, drop the left shoulder down, bring that top foot up and back, reaching for those fingertips. Good. And exhale, we'll bring you back through center. And then let's kick back into a quick child's pose. Toes together, knees apart. Keep those arms out in front. And that forehead can come to the floor. Relax the shoulders and the elbows as they drop to the ground. All right, next inhale, coming back to the hands and knees. And this time we're going to go thread the needle. Okay. So let's start with the left arm. We're going to go left arm out. You're going to thread the left arm through and drop to the left shoulder. Okay. You're going to place that right palm firmly on the ground and use that right palm to help you rotate the torso up towards the ceiling. Good. Inhale. Comes back to the hands and knees. A little wiggle for the reset. And then we'll go to the second side. So right arm out, thread it through, drop to that right shoulder. And then that left palm is pushing into the ground to help you twist. Good. Inhale. Bring it back to the hands and knees. A little wiggle. All right, so next up, child's pose side stretch. So let's kick back into child's pose. Toes together, knees apart, arms out in front. Okay. So from here, let's walk the hands over to the right. Okay. And now your left palm is really going to be the most important one here. So take your right hand on top of the left and push both hands down into the ground. Then you're going to take your left hip and reach it towards your left heel. So you get a big pull. And then however you can, you're going to rotate and play around and move around in this position so that you can feel what torso angle gives you a good stretch. So maybe that torso angle is a little bit up towards the ceiling. Maybe it's rolled down. Just want to open up that whole side body. Good. All right. Go ahead and release that and then just start to gently walk it over to the other side. Now this time your right palm presses hard, your left palm is on top, and then your right hip is pulling back towards your right heel to create traction and length, and then play around with the torso angle so you notice where you're tightest. Is it up towards the armpit? Is it more like the side ribs? Is it down in the low back? Is it all of it? Good. All right. On your exhale, walk the hands back to center and then hands back towards the knees as we sit up. Good. So next up, we're coming into saddle, which is essentially, we have a couple ways we can do this. First, I want knees together, feet are together underneath you. And so this is like step one, okay? Maybe, quads can get really tight from lots of pistol squats or just all the things. Maybe this is enough, okay? Maybe the tops of your feet are feeling this, and that's where the tension is. If you feel okay here, you have two options. You can just lean back and create a little bit more length that way. You can also get your feet on the outsides of your hips. I don't have the space today. I used to, but, and then sit down between the heels, okay? So wherever you are today, we're gonna go there and we're just gonna breathe in it and through it. And oh yeah, there you go. Are we feeling mostly quads here for most of you guys? Yeah. Some of you are feeling feet. Yeah. Toe cramp? Is what? Oh, you have a maybe broken foot. Oh, okay. We should talk about that. All right, let's go ahead and gently come out of that. Okay. Yeah, that's a maybe broken foot is kind of that's the thing. Okay, so we can come out of that, and we're just going to go into a low lunge. So just step your right foot forward. Okay. And in this position, all I want you to do, you can go hands, hips, wherever is helpful for balance, is I just want you to keep a little bit of tension in your belly, but allow the front of the hip to relax, okay? So the front of your left hip, you're not holding on to the balance. You're using this front foot and your core to create tension for the balance, and then you're softening through the left hip crease so that you can really let your hips sink down and create some more space there. All right, and let's add to this real quick. So we're going to go left arm up. That right arm can be on the knee for balance. Lift the chest up, then lean over to the right just a little bit. That stretch might travel up the side. Good. All right, bring that left hand down, push back, and then we're going to go kneeling, and then we're just going to switch. Okay. So a little bit of tension in the middle, good balance in the front here, and then this is where we soften. So as we let everything come down, pressure in the front foot, relax in the hip crease here. And then if you want a little bit more, that right arm goes up, chest up, and then over to the left. Good. Go ahead and release that down. Push the hips back. And then from here, we're just going to make our way to a downward facing dog. So let's start hands and knees so that the hands are at about shoulders distance. And then from there, as you tuck the toes, you should be in a good spot to lift the hips. And we'll just pedal out the heels a little bit. What's nice in this down dog is we can focus a little bit more on the calves in this first part. Often we feel like our hamstrings are usually tight, but sometimes it comes from or is contributing from the lower leg. So always good to check in on those calves, especially after high volume jumping and running and all of the things. All right, from this down dog, you're going to take your right foot and step it to the outside of the right hand, and then bring your back knee down. So now we're in more of a Spiderman position. Okay. Now you can keep this knee towards the shoulder and then try to draw the chest down. This is going to give you a little bit more like inner groin, maybe a little outer hip, but you're going to feel more tension in the groin. If you want something different, you can let that right knee fall over to the right, then go back down. You're going to feel maybe a little more outer hip. So it just depends on where you're feeling tight, what you want to work on today. Good. All right, coming onto the hands. And then just an easy transition back to down dog. Couple pedals of the heels, a little bit of movement, some wiggles. And then we'll go to the second side. So left foot steps to the outside of the left hand. The right knee comes down. And again, if you want more inner thigh, keep your left knee towards your left shoulder as you draw the chest down. Maybe you want a little bit more outer hip, so let that left knee fall over to the left, and then we can start to get the chest down. Good. All right. Let's go ahead and slowly transition back to an easy down dog. And in this down dog, if you want to add a little bit more, we can lift one leg up and like bend the knee, open the hip for an extra stretch. You can do that on both sides, once or twice. Cool. And then from here, on your down dog, just drop your knees down and come to a kneeling position. Okay, coming into, we call this gate. So take your right foot, kick it out to the side, toes forward. Okay. So we're gonna sit up really tall, and our left arm is gonna come up. And we're gonna lift and then lean. We've done this a couple times. This time though, you should feel a little bit more side body, maybe obliques, rather than up high in the armpit. You can also bring your left hand behind the head. Maybe that stretch travels up towards the triceps a bit. Good. Release that left arm. And then you're going to sit on your left heel. There we go. Single leg child's pose. So now we're looking for inner thigh. So you're going to shimmy your right foot out if you need a bit more space. And then we come to the forearms here. On that next inhale, we'll bring you up to the hands and then back to that kneeling position. Nice and easy. And then we go to the second side. So now the left foot kicks out, left toes forward. Sit up tall, right arm up. We're going to lift and then lean to the left. Feel this whole side stretch out. And then if you do want more, we can always put that right hand behind the head. See if that stretch moves up towards the triceps. Good. All right, inhale. We'll bring you up. And then single leg child's pose. Go ahead and sit onto that right heel. Shimmy your left foot out to the left. And then hands to the floor, however it's comfortable. Inhale, brings you onto the hands. Shimmy that left leg back in. And then just stay where you guys are. We're going to do 2 wrist stretches. So first one, fingertips are going to face the knees, palms flat on the floor. Okay. Now, some of us might need to start with the shoulders pretty far forward to keep the elbows straight, and that's okay. From here, if you do have a little bit more space, without letting the heel of the palm come up, we're just going to start to lean back. And let's go ahead and gently shift forward to release. And then we're going to flip the palms the other way, but this time we're going to touch middle fingers, okay? Now, straightening the arms is your number one thing. So if we can only do that, stay there. If you do have the elbows straight and have a little bit more space, we can separate the fingertips a little bit more. But we also can curl. Hi, false grip. False grip, okay. You might find one side's a little tighter than the other. And do that a couple times where you just curl the hands and then release. One side might be tighter than the other. Always good to just even sides out. And then after about 2 or 3 more of those, you can release and shake it out. Whew. Good. And then last thing before we lay or we get into pigeon, the best stretch of them all, go ahead and grab your band. And you can do this seated here or kneeling, whichever is most comfortable. We're going to do 10 pass-throughs. And I'm looking for a lot of stretch in the back part of this pass-through here. So even if you can't go all the way, that's okay. I want you to extend the arms and feel your chest open up and all of this stretch out, okay? So we can go all the way if you need to, but if you can't, it's just we're looking for that big stretch at the top. Okay, 10 total. And then when you're done with 10, you can just put that off to the side so I know we can continue. Cool. Cool. All right. So next up, we've got pigeon. Okay. Now, if you are really sore, you might find your butt's really high off the floor. That's okay. You can stay there, or we can kind of shift the hips a little bit to get you into a better position. So let's start and get into downward facing dog, just as a good place to start. And then bring your right knee towards your right wrist. And then shin comes down, left leg will scoot back. Okay. Now you guys can already see I've got some space between the floor and my hip. I can stay here, or I can kind of roll more to the outer hip so that I can relax a little more. And that's what we want. We want you to find a position where even though the intensity in the hip is there, the rest of the body can soften. Okay. So we're just going to breathe here for about a minute. Just really settle into this stretch. All right, let's go ahead and gently peel yourself off the floor. We can just kind of roll to the outer hip, and then hands and knees, and then down dog. So easy out of the position, easy into that down dog before we go to the next side. So now left knee towards left wrist. Scoot the right leg back. And this side may or may not be tighter. And so if it's not tighter, or if it's less tight, you can do a different position. So it doesn't have to be exactly the same on both sides. Be here for about a minute. All right. Go ahead and peel yourself out of this position. And then here we're just going to roll onto the outer hip. And we'll swing that back leg around. And we're going to come onto our back. Okay. And you can get there any way you want. You can also hold the knees and just go nice and slow to the floor. When you get there, knees will hug into the chest. Give them a squeeze. And then happy baby. So we're going to grab the outer edges of the feet. Elbows will be inside the knees so that as you pull down on the feet, the knees are reaching down towards the ground. And then you're taking your tailbone and pressing it firmly to the mat. So you elongate your spine. And then you can play around here. You can straighten one leg and the other. You can rock side to side. You can bring your toes in, toes over the head. Any movement here. Good. Go ahead and release the feet and bring the knees into the chest. Keep your right knee in, left leg extends on the mat. Scoot the hips over to the right and then let that knee fall to the left. That right arm extends out like a T, and then your body's just heavy here. No pushing into this position. We're just breathing and softening. Inhale brings your right knee in. We'll do a little switch. So reset the hips. Left knee will be into your chest, right leg extends on the mat. Hips kick over to the left, and then we reach for the twist. Good. Inhale comes back through center. Bring both knees into the chest. Give them a squeeze. And then just gently extend the legs onto the mat, out in front, final rest position here. So the legs will be along on the mat, arms alongside the waist. Closing the eyes. And continuing to breathe through the nose, but let it be natural, no force. It's just breathing as you need to. Slowly start to wiggle the fingers and toes. Reach the arms overhead. Full body stretch. So toes and fingertips reach away from each other. And then eventually we'll get to a comfortable seat, but you can transition through rolling to the right side first, spending a moment or two there. And then no rush to get to the seat. Last couple moments here, sitting tall, eyes closed. And just gently opening your eyes now. Very good. Now, days that we're really sore, stretching is not necessarily going to take away the soreness, but it is going to get blood flow moving there. It's going to get things gliding better. It will make you feel better to move the body. And so when we're stretching, when we're really sore, it's not about deepening the stretch. It's just about moving through the stretch. So next time you're really sore, still stretch, just ease in. And then hopefully you guys feel good and ready for this week, because we got a lot of stuff coming up. So thank you guys for coming in, and I will see you guys next week. Okay, thank you.